Hello viewers, we are going to see one topic, Daemon Thread from the third unit of Object-Oriented Programming. Objectives are to describe Daemon Threads in Java, to apply Daemon Thread in Java programming. So first of all, let us see what is meant by Daemon Thread. Normally in programming, the user can create their own threads for doing some special task. That threads are called as user threads. So each user thread will have its own operation provided by the user. But the daemon thread is background thread which is used to provide some service to the user thread like garbage collection. So the daemon thread is called a service provider thread since it provides several services to the user thread. So whenever the user thread dies, or whenever the user thread is terminated, the Java virtual machine terminates the daemon thread automatically. The lifetime of the daemon thread depends upon the user thread. Okay. So since the daemon thread works as long as the user thread will perform its operation. And when compared to the user threads, the daemon thread having a low priority. The command console typed in the command prompt provide the information about the loaded classes, memory usage, running threads, etc. Okay, so these are all the features associated with the daemon thread. So the purpose of daemon thread is to provide service to the user thread for background supporting task. If there is no user thread, then Java virtual machine will stop the working of the current daemon thread. Then there are several methods are there to provide some of the features for the daemon thread. Okay. So the base class for the daemon thread is java.lang.thread that provides two methods for the daemon thread, Java daemon thread. They are, first method is setDaemon, second method is isDaemon. setDaemon method is used to mark the current thread as daemon thread or user thread. Okay, setDaemon is used to set a particular thread as daemon thread. Next, second method is Boolean method, that is isDaemon method, which is used to return whether the particular thread is daemon thread or not. Okay, it will return true if the current checking thread is daemon thread. Now we are going to see the program to show the use of setDaemon and isDaemon method. So we have declared one class with the class name daemon thread that extends the base class thread name thread. Then we are having the run method. Inside the run method, we are applying the method isDaemon inside the if statement. That is, we are checking the condition. The condition is actually checking for the daemon thread. That is, we are applying the condition in the if statement like thread dot current thread dot isDaemon. So the current thread will be retrieved and isDaemon method will check whether the current thread is daemon thread or not. Then if the current thread is daemon thread, then it will return true. So we all know if the if statement returns true, the corresponding true part will be executed. So the as a result of the system.out.println statement, we will get the statement this is daemon thread. Okay, so the way of applying the isDaemon method is it should be extended from the method current thread, that should be extended from the class thread. So we have applied thread dot current thread dot isDaemon. So else if the if statement produces the return value false, then this statement will be printed, that is this is user thread will be printed. Then inside the main function we are creating some threads T1, T2, T3 under our class. Our class was daemon thread. Okay, for our class we are creating the thread objects T1, T2, T3. Then after that we are going to set some of the threads as daemon thread. Okay, so the method is setDaemon. So T1 dot set daemon true. So by this statement, T1 thread was set as daemon thread. So after that, we are starting the threads T1, T2, T3. So we all know when the thread is started, the run method will be executed. So the run methods, actually inside the run method, we are having the method to check for the daemon thread. That is, for each run execution, it will check whether the current thread is daemon thread or not. Accordingly, it will produce the result like this is a daemon thread or this is a user thread. So we are starting the threads T1, T2, T3, and after that, so after executing the threads, we are changing the thread T3 as daemon thread. T3 as daemon thread. So we have created 3 threads T1, T2, T3, and we have changed T1 into daemon thread, T3 into daemon thread, but our T2 was user thread. So when the thread gets executed, we will get the output. First output, this is daemon thread, which is for the thread T1, and the second statement will be produced as a result of the thread execution T2. So actually T2 is user thread. So we will get the statement, this is user thread, then this is daemon thread. So this is got by the execution of the thread T3. So T3 was daemon thread. So we will get the statement, this is daemon thread. Now we are going to see another one example program. So in this example program, we are going to apply the method associated with the daemon thread. So here inside the run method, we are having the system.out.println, in which we are printing the thread name. Thread name will be accessed with the help of the method getName that will be accessed from the method current thread. It will be extended from the main base class thread. So we are applying the method in this fashion, thread.currentThread.getName. So the current thread name will be retrieved and it will be printed under the run method. Then after that, we are having one more system.out.println method which will print so the inside the printf statement, we are checking whether the current thread is daemon thread. Okay, isDaemon is the boolean method which will return either true or false. IsDaemon is the boolean method which will checks whether the which will returns true if the current thread is daemon. Otherwise, it will returns false if the current thread is not daemon. Now in the main function, we are creating two threads T1 and T2. We are starting the first thread T1 dot start, and the corresponding run method will be executed. Then after that, we are setting the T1 as daemon thread with the help of the method set daemon. So we are using the statement T1 dot set daemon true. T1 dot set daemon true. So by this statement, T1 will be changed into daemon thread. Okay. So since T1 is daemon thread, when T1 thread is executed, the run method will be called and the run method gets executed. So inside the run method, when we call the method isDaemon, it will produce the true result. So the corresponding thread name will be printed. The current thread name is default name is thread 0. The thread name will be printed, and after that, when the second thread is executed, that is T2 is executed, when inside the run method, when it is checking for isDaemon condition, it will produce the false result since T2 is user thread. T2 is not daemon thread. So when we check it, during the execution of T2, when we check it for the daemon thread condition, it will produce the false result. Okay. So in this way, we can use setDaemon method to change one thread as daemon thread, and isDaemon method is used to check whether the current thread is daemon thread or not. So that's all about the topic. In the daemon thread also having some priority levels, but when compared to the user thread, the daemon thread will have the least priority. Okay, so from this topic we can have the question like explain the use of daemon threads in Java with example program. Thank you all.